Yeah, shout out to the chat. Shout out to these goddamn YouTube streets. This is your homegirl, Arabian Mambosa. Yeah, yeah, yes. I keep hearing this stuff about Earth Day. I think that's her name, yeah, Earth Day. And, I see that, a lot of people are, they got their opinions about her. Um, I'm not really too familiar with this lady, but I do know because it was brought to my attention that Earth Day is a doxer. She was doxing people for Kwame Brown. Shout out to the chat, shout out to the YouTube streets. So I guess what's going on with her, it's karma. I guess whatever's going on with her is called karma. What goes around comes back around. But shout out to the chat, shout out to the YouTube streets. I don't really have a real opinion about her. I really don't care, one way or another. But it is what it is. So shout out to the YouTube streets. It looks like a lot of people went live today. I'm only basically, if I'm not interested in the content, I will not be catching the replay because I guess some people know that reaction videos is not my big time favorite. Shout out to the chat, shout out to the YouTube streets, because we all can become a part of all that mess. A reaction video. Like, let's say you do a video, right? A very simple video. It might be 5 minutes long, might be 10 minutes long, might be 20 minutes long. If people feel that they want to do a reaction on your video, that's exactly what they do. But I'm not really a big fan of reaction videos. They're entertaining to a certain extent. I'm going to put it like this. If it doesn't have anything to do with current events or what's going on in the world, I'm really not interested. If it doesn't have anything to do with history, world history, I'm not interested. I'm not. Because I discovered a video today as I was strolling along on these YouTube streets about what they did to interracial married couples during the 50s and 60s, especially in Virginia. Because there are some people that still believe in the one drop rule. One drop of African blood, and guess what? You're black. You're considered a descendant of Africans or people that come from that continent, because they try to box us in as coming from one continent when all in actuality, black people have been here on the planet since day one. Day one. So we have no birth date. We were here before any other race. And that's the God truth, man. For real. So it is what it is. And I was looking at that video and I was listening to the video. And in the video, they let it be known in 1921, around that time, anyone that was calling themselves Native American and they were not living on a reservation somewhere, they were reclassified as being black. They went as so far to dig up the bodies of black people from certain cemeteries to bury them in other places. A few years ago, few years ago when I just moved to South Carolina, and I went to a cemetery, and the cemetery was in the woods, you guys. The cemetery I went to was in the woods, and nobody was buried there but black people. Shout out to the chat, shout out to the YouTube streets. Because back in those days, people made sure not only did they segregate the living, but they segregated the dead as well. See, there was one man in particular, and he did believe in the eugenics program, so to speak, where he not only had those laws passed, especially in Virginia, but he did everything he could to make sure that those laws were enforced. So there's a lot of Native American people running around who think that they are African American, and they are not. But if they fall under the one drop rule, then they're considered what? Black, right? Shout out to the chat, shout out to the YouTube streets. Shout out to the chat, shout out to the YouTube streets. So it is what it is. So I was all over these YouTube streets trying to look at some of these history channels, listening to those videos. And I did catch one of the movies I wanted to catch today. And the movie is called Born Cursed. And I looked at the movie. I might have to look at it again. And I found the movie on Tubi. See, I fucks with Tubi. See, while everyone else is gossiping and fighting on the YouTubes, I'm over there on Tubi. I'm in other sections of YouTube. Or I'm basically doing my own shit on my own channel. And that's about it, man. So, yeah, I keep hearing about Earth Day. And from what I understand, she's a doxer. So, doxing is not good, but she's not the only one on this platform or in this sector that has doxed people. And I feel like this, if you're going to dox somebody, that's weak. That's real weak. And it's weird and it's creepy. Shout out to the chat, shout out to the YouTube streets. And then we got some people on this platform that they can't fight fair. So what do? They flag down channels. They flag down certain videos. They lie on certain YouTube creators. So that's what's going on in this sector. I have never seen so much bullshit in this sector. Ever since Kwame Brown came to YouTube, it's been nothing but problems. It's been nothing but trouble. It's been nothing but drama. It's been nothing but tonteria. It's been nothing but embusteria. It's been nothing but basura all the way around. And that's my fucking opinion. That's my opinion. Those are my random thoughts. That's my opinion. These are my words out of my mouth. And that's the way I think. So it is what it is. And a lot of people were doing the reaction video, talking about damn D, and I guess ears to the street. And I'm not interested in either one of those clowns. Both of them are Kwamites. Both of them are following under the guise and the tutelage of Kwame Brown. So I'm not really interested in them. It's a lot of dead content. In other words, what I'm saying is there's a lot of dead content in this sector. And it has been this way for a couple of years. I've never seen YouTube like this in a mighty, mighty long time. Matter of fact, I have never seen this sector be this messy or this dry or this troubled since I've been here. And I've been on YouTube, since 2013? 2013. This is 2026? So that's 13 years. That's 13 years of listening to YouTube content on the YouTube streets. Now, I understand that people are going to beef, people are going to argue, people are not going to see eye to eye. I have done it. Trust me, Lord have mercy, I will tell you, I have done it. I have beefed, I have argued with people. Shout out to the chat, shout out to the YouTube streets. I believe that there was only one person on here that called themselves trying to dox me. Call themselves trying to dox your homegirl, Arabia Barbosa. It is what it is, man. These weak weasels, men and women. And sometimes you kind of hate to, associate yourself with certain people because at the end of the day, when the shit hit the fan, you're not going to be that person's friend anymore. You're going to fall out. It's going to be a mad day. But like I said, usually if I'm in a disagreement with somebody, I'll do like 1, maybe 2 videos, and then I'll fucking move on. Because it's not worth it. There's more shit on YouTube to do or in other social media platforms and in real life to do. Because a lot of us out here, we got a real life. A lot of you work. A lot of you work jobs. A lot of you have careers. You do your thing. You take care of your family. You pay your dues. And what I mean by paying your dues, you pay your rent, you pay your utilities, your mortgage, your car note, the gas for the car. You pay for your groceries. You doing you. Shout out to the YouTube streets. And I understand that, some people are gonna just jump out the window to support certain YouTube creators when it's not even necessary. It's not even necessary. You know what I mean? What's up, Holly Favor? Holly Favor, did you ever go on your vacation, your little cruise? Shout out to you and thank you for coming in and moderating. So I've been kind of busy doing my short videos. I just finished a whole bunch of them. It's like I did a good 20 videos today on the shorts. I did some on this channel, and I did some on my little channel, the Arabia 914 channel. So shout out to the chat, shout out to the YouTube streets. So it is what it is. Like, I guess the next time I go live or whatever, I'll probably drop the link to the other channel that I got. It's called Arabia 914. Arabia 914. You can't miss it. You'll see me with a cigarette in my mouth, and I got a hoodie on with a black do-rag, and it's my face. So shout out to me for creating that channel. I created that channel months ago, and it's a little small channel. I like it. It is what it is. I created it, so of course I'm gonna like it. I'm not interested in Earth Day. No, Holly Favorite. I'm definitely not interested in her. I don't care nothing about her. I think I met her one time on the YouTubes when Lonnie had went live. I met her one time over there on Lonnie's channel because Lonnie accepts everyone. Lonnie don't care if you're a man, you're a woman. Lonnie don't care. If you come over there and support Lonnie gonna, she gonna rock out with you. That's how Lonnie is. They say that Lonnie is this and that, but Lonnie is actually a person that's very open. She got an open mind, but she got her own opinion. So shout out to Empress Lonnie One Love. Yeah, that's how I met Earth Day. Because I never really came in close contact of her until Lonnie had went live one particular day and Earth Day was up there. I believed I had hit the link after Earth Day had dropped down. Shout out to the chat, shout out to the YouTube streets. I can't remember exactly how it went or but I know that we didn't talk to each other. And then later on, I found out that she had got locked up behind that boyfriend situation. They got into a domestic violence situation. He gonna call the cops like a little bitch. The cops come out there. She get fucking arrested. She go to jail for a couple of days. She gets back out. So I'm like thinking, okay, Earth Day is the victim. Let me tell you something. There was a content creator that went live and exposed Earth Day and said Earth Day had doxed them. So I said, what the fuck is going on around here? I said, oh no, I can't feel sorry for Earth Day. Earth Day just gonna have to drown. She gonna have to drown in the waters that she has created for herself on these YouTube streets. See, when you're a doxer, and you're not doxing for yourself, you're not doxing because you're fighting for yourself. She was doxing people for Kwame Brown. And I don't understand why people are so in love with a man that is not in love with none of y'all. He's not in love with himself. He's not in love with his own children. This man don't even want to pay child support. And the only reason why I know that is because when Tommy Sotomayor went live, and I'm going to tell you exactly which year it was 2021. Because I had just moved from the downtown area to North Charleston. That's how I know. That's how I know. Because I remember one day walking from the house I was living at up there on Dorchester Road, and I was walking to the family door up there, and I was listening to Tommy Sotomayor as he was talking about Kwame Brown. And then I remember going downtown a couple of days, for 3, 4, 5 days in a row, and Tommy was doing videos about Kwame Brown back to back, where he was exposing this man. He was exposing him. He was telling the whole world. But a lot of you didn't want to listen. A lot of you thought you knew better. Then y'all started dealing with him. And then what happened? Because it didn't happen to me because I never followed him. I was under Tommy Sotomayor. Then I went to other YouTube creators, Tanya TKO, Cynthia G, Hassan Campbell. There was a lot of YouTube creators I was listening to around that time. So shout out to the chat, shout out to the YouTube streets. And I remember when Hassan Campbell first came to these YouTube streets. I believe it was 2017. Before that, he was on Facebook. And I remember him because he had a lot of rivalry with Tommy Sotomayor. Yeah, but like I said in a video earlier, at the end of the day, all these men went up against Tommy, talk shit about Tommy, but guess what they're doing on now? The black woman this, the black woman. Now they complaining. Now they're airing out all the dirty laundry about black woman. All of them. Even Dr. Umar. Dr. Umar is doing the exact same thing. Because I remember Dr. Umar had ran into some kind of situation with dealing with a black woman, and then all of a sudden, I heard him parroting. And Dr. Umar is supposed to be a Pan-Africanist. But let me tell you something about the Pan-Africanist movement. When Marcus Garvey first started that movement here in this country, even he had something negative to say about black women. When Elijah Muhammad started the Nation of Islam, or he took over the Nation of Islam during the 1930s, he even had something to say about the black woman. That was very critical. They criticized the black woman. Because you know why? Because the black woman is the first teacher. That's the first woman on earth that teaches you about love and about hate and about life and about death. That is your first fucking teacher. And I'm going to tell you something. My fucking first teacher is a fucking race trader. That's what the fuck she is. How the hell, I just can't wrap my head around. How the hell you gonna get pregnant 5 times, have 5 children, and all the children end up in fucking, foster care, adoption services? 3 different families raised my mother's children. And guess what? Let me tell you something about this bitch. And I'm calling her a bitch. Let me tell you something about this bitch. She didn't want to have nothing to do with us when we were young and helpless. But let me tell you something. As soon as all of us became grown adults, all of a sudden, she is the mother. All of a sudden, she want to be in people's lives. All of a sudden, she want to fuck around with us. And I said, wait a minute, I let some things slide. I let some things slide with that bitch. But then, as time went on, I saw that she was just like an average bitch in the fucking street. But the only difference between me and these bitches in the street is that bitch got the same blood I got. She brought me here without my fucking permission. And then she didn't do her fucking job. So what ended up happening? We got into a verbal confrontation, and the verbal confrontation turned physical. It turned physical. And I don't give a fuck who don't like it. That's not my mother. That is a piece of shit. A race traitor. A coward. A weirdo. A creep. Someone that chose the world over her own fucking blood. You chose the world over your own flesh and blood. And a whole lot of other black bitches are walking around. They're just like her. I was so glad when Sister Ali wrote that book. Shahrazad Ali. She wrote that book, The Black Man's Guide to Understanding the Black Woman. And I read the book. Shout out to the chat. Shout out to the YouTube streets. And guess what? Years later, I was in touch with one of the members of the Nation of Islam, and he gave me her phone number. And I called and I talked with her. And me and her emailed each other for years. Shout out to the chat. Shout out to the YouTube streets. So a lot of stuff Tommy Sotomayor said about the black woman, she said it in the book. She said it way before he even thought about saying it. Way before he even came to YouTube. Shout out to the chat. Hey, what's up, Just Jay? Oh, Wrath is in here. What's up, Wrath? What's going on? What's up? Shout out to the chat. I don't know if people agree with me or not, but this is how I feel. And I told y'all, there's going to be days I'm going to be laughing and smiling and kicking up my heels. And then there's going to be other days where I'm going to bitch. And I think I've been bitching about this thing for a couple of years now. And they say if you talk about something long enough, it'll start losing its luster. It'll start losing its power. It has never lost its power or its lust. When I hear that woman's name and I feel like doxing her, when I hear that woman's name, I start grinding my teeth. I start talking through my teeth. And next thing you know, I'll be wanting to Coco tassel me a bitch. Bend me a bitch over. I love women. Don't get me wrong. I do. I've been a part of the LGBTQ community for years. I love me some women. But there are just some women you just don't like. You just don't love. You don't respect. You don't admire. You don't fucking acknowledge. You walk away and you pretend they don't even exist. And since I've been here on these YouTube streets, I'm going to tell you something else. Now, y'all heard me talk about my sister-in-law, Sergeant Crystal Reagan. You heard me talk about her. I always said something positive about Sergeant Crystal Reagan. I used to live with her. I lived with Sergeant Crystal Reagan for 6 months. When I knew her when she was a teenager. I remember her when she first started dating my brother. I met her before she got pregnant with my niece Sierra. I remember who's good to me and I remember who wasn't so good. Shout out to the chat. Shout out to the YouTube streets. And she was genuine. I remember when I left out of that woman's house and I moved on and I started working. You know what I would do? Whenever I got paid, I would take some money, put it to the side, and send it back to her. Take the money, put it to the side, send it to her. I did that for 4 different paychecks. You know what she did? She got on the phone. She called me. She said, Arabia, I appreciate the money, but I don't need it. And you know what she did? She sent the money right back. That's what she did. And me and her, we stayed in contact for a couple of years. I was close with Crystal. So, of course, when she passed away, you know, I was like, wow. So it is what it is. So life is life and life keeps lifing. Doesn't matter if you like the person or you don't like the person, you get along with them, you don't get along with them. I know who the enemy is. I know who my biggest rivals are. And it's not people on YouTube. I don't care what they try to do to me. It's the people in my real life. And my first teacher. My first teacher taught me what? how not to trust people, how not to believe in nobody, how to see the wrong in people when it's need to be seen. Because I couldn't overlook her sins. I tried to look, man. I tried to look over her sins. I could not overlook her sins. Then one day we got into a verbal confrontation. She pushed me. And I pushed her back. She pushed me back. The next thing I know, and I remember that bitch tried to bite me. When she tried to bite me, I took my fists and balled them up and started pounding in her fucking face. I mean, I went crazy. I treated her like she was a bitch in the street. And I knew then, I said, I've been dealing with the enemy. So shout out to the chat. Let me read what these comments are saying. Well, that's if I'm not at work. Okay. Where housework can be very insane, especially y'all a hot mess. I'm reading the chat, but y'all, I guess y'all not paying no attention when I'm saying. Y'all need to pay attention, because I told y'all there'll be days I'll come on here and I'll laugh and I'll kiki and I'll kick up my heels, and then there'll be other days I'll be like, fuck that bitch over there. And you will hear me talk about this bitch every now and then. You will hear me talk about her. Because it doesn't make any fucking sense for a woman to spread her legs for 3 different dudes. You come up with 5 children. 2 of us got the same daddy. The last 2 got the same daddy. The first child, she got her own daddy. And then we all end up in the system? What was on the paper? On the paper it said neglect. Didn't say child abuse. It said neglect. And in the word, and that's a code word. That's a key word. This bitch is poor. This bitch don't got no fucking money. This bitch should have never had no fucking 5 kids. Especially if you're not gonna fucking take care of them. I hate me a weak bitch. I don't like no weak, coward bitches. And those are the bitches that don't never raise their fucking kids. You look around, those bitches got those kids sitting up in her mama house or her auntie house or somebody else's house that the child don't belong in. And then when the child get touched on or some other bullshit happen, then all of a sudden, I didn't know. Bitch, you knew. A female dog takes care of their children better than some of these black bitches do. A cat does a better job. The lioness does a better job. The lioness will protect the baby cubs against every male, even the father in certain instances, because they know it's very easy for those cubs to be injured or killed just by any type of rough play. So they're right there. They be like, not today. And then I've met other women. I met other women and other men who got mothers that just love them to death. Check on them, come see about them. They don't think of the child as being separate from themselves. They think of the child as being like their arm or their leg. Somebody hit that arm or that leg, oh, you got hell on. I've seen women just go crazy when somebody do something to their child. And then I see these bitches who let everything happen to the child and don't do a goddamn thing and then pretend that they didn't fucking know what the fuck was going on. Shout out to the chat. Rad, you almost turned one of your co-workers into a pancake. Why did you do that, Rad? Oh, shout out to Just Jay. Thank you for letting me know that. Appreciate that. The $29 an hour is to babysit adults. The $1 is for the work. Wrath, I hear what you saying. I feel you. Because some of those co-workers, they can't get on your nerves. You know, that warehouse work. Yeah, I used to do warehouse work when I was much younger. You know? But I used to love it because I didn't work with a whole lot of people. It was just me and one other lady. And I remember, now I'm gonna tell y'all something. I remember one particular day, this lady didn't show up on a Friday, right? She had called out, said she wasn't gonna be there. So the place I was working at, they was like, okay, just send Arabian. So I went. And you know, when this bitch came back, this bitch actually thought I was trying to get her job. I said, oh no. I shook my head. I was like, I ain't trying to take nothing from nobody. And I didn't. Because you know what? When I found me a better paying job, I left that job and went to the other one. And plus, I was working at Wendy's. So I had two different jobs. I was working during the day and I was working at night. I did not want nothing that another woman had. And that's one thing about me. I don't believe in that envy or that jealousy shit because I know what is meant for one person ain't fucking meant for me. And I don't know what they did to fucking get it or how they got it or what they went through to get it. And I guess what? I don't fucking want to know. I only started back in warehouse once I became a lead. Okay, once you became lead. You know what? I did warehouse in South Carolina. And you know what? When I moved back to New York, right? That after I had left from my job at working for where was I working? I was working for the homeless shelter system in Westchester County. I was working at one of their sites. It was called the Coachman, right there on East Post Road in White Plains, New York. And after that, I left from there and I started working through a temp service that was located in the Bronx, right there on Jerome Avenue. And they had sent me to a warehouse. And the only thing we did was assemble the makeup kits. That's the only thing we did. We had to construct the boxes, construct the makeup kits, you know, get all that squared away, pack the boxes, tape them up, and then put them on the pallets. That's the only thing we had to do. And we did that Monday through Friday. And I think I worked that job for a good 3 months. And then, you know, right after Christmas, around February, they didn't need us no more. Because the work was drying up. The work was slowing down. They didn't need us. So everybody got dismissed. And the temp company I was working for at that particular time, they couldn't find us anything right away. And I remember they was going to send us to Brooklyn one day. They was going to send us to Brooklyn. Yeah, right there on Saratoga Avenue. And for some reason, before we left the office, whoever that company was, they had called to cancel. So I only worked warehouse twice in my life. And then the rest of the shit is food service, it's construction cleanup, and some other miscellaneous work. What was I saying? Oh Lord, wait a minute. Let me read the chat. Okay, just said. Rat said he has to hide his cell phone. Right after I remember one time I was working at Walmart and somebody had stole my phone charger. I'm so mad. I came to YouTube this day and I was complaining about it, right? And don't you know that these children made a drop song? My phone charger. Them children used to make them drop songs on me. Punish me. Hit the link. What's the other song? Punish me, hit the link. Phone charger. Birdman bought this paint to this motherfucking house. What's the other song? Stand on it. Jeepers Creepers. Yeah. Those children used to make those drops. Shout out to Thick Cut and Andre O.D. Kimball. Thick Cut was helping write the songs. Thick Cut was helping to write the drop songs. I said, "Oh no, he did." So he even did what Thick Cut did. Center Mass. This is the BT 1000. Yeah. Some song where I was telling people out the BT 1000, and the only thing you could hear me laughing and me cursing out Garrett, 86 Homeless, the band one. But there was one particular song he did, and it was called Center Mass, and it had me on the track, and it had Sis on the track. And I was like, what? What's going on with this shit right here? I said, look at these children. But those songs brought people to my channel. Those songs brought everything out. There was YouTubers on YouTube in this sector that was a much bigger channel than mine. Yo, they were like, the BT 1000. Oh, that bitch just called my name. Yeah. If I felt that you was getting ready to say something, if I even thought you was getting ready to say something about me, I'd call your name and I'll talk all kinds of shit about you. And then when we get on a panel together, it's the same energy. They cursing, I'm cursing. They going, I'm going. And ain't nobody stopping. I mean, I used to talk so fast on the mic. And I only remember getting dropped from off of a link twice. Sis dropped me one time, and brown skin lady. Yeah, so shout out to Sis and shout out to brown skin lady. They had to drop me because they had the fucking death coach up there, and I had to curse that bitch out. and tell her what I thought. But anyway, you guys, let me end this video. So I just shout out to y'all, man. But yeah, man, ain't nobody live right now. And even if they are live, I don't give a because they doing them stupid ass reaction videos, and I don't want to listen to that shit. I'd rather listen to the sound of my own voice before I listen to that crap. And plus, I got other things I got to be doing. Yeah, Wrath, Thick Cut. Thick Cut got some songs up there, child. When I heard them songs, I said, I know. But I never got mad with Thick Cut because Thick Cut is Soda Nation just like me. He might be hanging with it, but he's still Soda Nation. It's a whole lot of us floating around, but don't nobody know who all of us are. It seems like some people are ashamed to say they are Soda Nation. Thick Cut, I've heard Thick Cut say it a few times. Now the rest of the people, now all of a sudden, they don't know who Tommy Sotomayor. And we all came because those people that I'm thinking of, we was all in the chats, but Tommy's chats used to be moving so fast and furious, we couldn't really see each other. And we didn't know that we were still in the sector like this until Tommy left. And then that's when I started going to other YouTube creators. Miss 504, shout out to her. Armando Black. Brown Skin Lady was later. The Death Coach. Yeah, man. I used to, Lonnie, Selena. It's a lot of them. I used to listen to their videos. Lonnie, now I still been, after all these years, I'm still with Lonnie. After all these years, Sis, I'm still with Sis. After all these years, Brown Skin Lady, I'm still with Brown Skin Lady. I'm still with Moonlight. After all these fucking years. Shout out to the chat. Yeah, Just Jay, he is. He's very good. If you ever want him to do music for you, that's the one to get. That's the one to get. He's easy to reach. Boom, 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 boom. You deal with him. He'll have you work out. Boom, in a timely fashion. He's very good. Very professional. Rare, you like to work on the weekends? Oh, no, he don't like to work on the weekends. Okay. That's understandable. I think all of us like to have our weekends off. You know. Shout out to the chat. Shout out to the YouTube streets. So it is what it is. I hope everyone has an awesome evening. I want to thank y'all for listening to me. Now, at first, I started out pretty good. Then towards the middle, I was hollering and screaming. Now, towards the end, I'm laughing and I'm joking again. And, you know. And it's not bipolar. Borderline personality disorder, major depression, recurrent, PTSD, anxiety. Now that's a song right there. I have to go on SUNY to do that. Yeah, you can write songs. Well, not songs, but you can write little clips of songs right here on YouTube by using the short. Well, yeah. Like, let's say that you want to, like, put some words to music, right? You go to the short thing on the YouTube, and it'll give you like 3 different things: video, circular short video, and then it'll have the music sign. You press onto the music sign, you press onto the area where they say lyrics, you write out what lyrics you want to put out there. You gonna only do a few lines because it's gonna be short anyway. And then after that, you load it up just like you would a short, and you could put whatever background you want on it, and then the song comes out. And there you go. You got a little clip song. Yeah, Just Jay. Yeah, he's very professional. I like Thick Cut. I like Thick Cut. I like Thick Cut. I like Andre O.D. Kimball. I like Drop Squad. You know, I like them. Now, as far as anyone else, I really don't know. I'm not really familiar with those other people. You know what I mean? Just like we got some editors in this sector, that I like. I like Letitia. I like Triple S edits. You know what I mean? I like those two. Now, I don't know who else is doing editing and all this other foolishness, but it is what it is. Yeah, Just Jay, but I'm not an editor. I'm not an editor. I'm just a YouTube creator that dips and dabbles. I'm a dipper and a dabbler. I'm not an editor. Because I think what it is, when they do their videos, they take a little more long. They'll take one video. The video might take them hours. It might take them a day to do it. And then they want to put the finishing touches. I don't know what kind of software they be using. So it is what it is. So their work is different from mine. You know what I mean? I'm just starting out. A trial and error for me, a hit and miss. Some of my videos are good. Some of them I could do more work on them. You know what I mean? I just made a purchase the other day on another app, and that's how I get some of my work out. I go over there and take advantage of that, and it works out pretty good for me. I could do like the regular postings and just post it, or I could just make a little short video, or I could combine what I already have, and that's how I do that. Oh, the stories I would tell during, yeah, child, those stories are real life. Real life, man. About how people can betray you. And your biggest enemy, I keep telling people this, your biggest enemy is not the people on YouTube. And I don't care who's trying to dox nobody. It's not them. It's the people that's close to you in real life. And sometimes they're blood related. That woman betrayed me so much. She did it more. She did a lot of things that was like really fucking dirty. You know what I mean? And like I said, that bitch didn't want to show up until after everybody was fucking grown. I didn't meet my mother. The last time I saw my mother before the adoption of all this other bullshit, I was 2 years old, and I didn't see her no more until what? I was 28. No. Last time I saw her I had to wait 28 years to see my mother. I was 30 years old when I met that bitch face to face, and when I met my father. And when I listened to my father's story, I said, yeah, that bitch is dirty. And I always kept that in the back of my mind. Even though I dealt with her on a certain level, I always kept that like right there. That bitch is the enemy. She's 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 my rival. She's my foe. Yeah. Until one day there was an explosion. And I just couldn't hold it back anymore. I had to do it. I had to do it. I didn't want to do it, but I had to do. I had no choice. Because that bitch violated. More than once. She sabotaged the early part of my life. If it wasn't for her and her interference, I probably would have been a whole lot better on in life. But because of her interference, that stagnated a few things. You know what I mean? Emotionally, spiritually. You know? I'm like playing catch up almost. I'm 53 years old. I'm still trying to catch up. I'm trying to repair what this bitch tried to destroy. And not only did she do it to me, she did it to 4 other people. And then got the fucking nerve to call herself a colorist. Fucking bitch. That's why I do not like people from South Carolina. Even though I live here, I know how people from South Carolina get down. Those that are saying that they're Geechee and Gulas, you gotta watch them. I don't like them. I don't like them. I don't even deal with them. I don't mix up with them. Birdman was enough for me. That was it. All I do is work. If I gotta deal with them, I deal with them. But when it's all over with, I'm out. I'm out. You know what I mean? Shout out to the... And that's the way it's gonna be. Yeah, don't be sorry, just Jay. Just, you know, because you ain't did it. She did it. I remember one time I was on, I think I was on Facebook. And that bitch was on Facebook. I cursed her ass out. She blocked me. I'll tell you, I'm this close to doxing that bitch. But I don't want to do that because it might cause some other shit to ripple. I don't need nothing to ricochet. I don't need nothing ricocheting on me. I'd rather deal with her like the way I'm dealing with her now. Just that's pretending that the bitch ain't here. Pretending that the bitch is dead. You know? But in the back of my mind, I already know this bitch ain't dead. This bitch is still floating around. I just haven't seen her. You know what I mean? I seen her one time in North Charleston. It wasn't too far from here. It wasn't too far from where I live. And I remember I was walking past, and I recognized that bitch from anywhere. And I stood outside the gate. She stood up there on the porch. She would not come off that fucking porch. I stood there for a few minutes, and then I fucking walked on. I waited for the bus. The bus came. I got on. I disappeared. That's it. You know, I got relatives that live right downtown. I don't fuck with them. I don't talk to them. And the only reason why I know they related to me is through Birdman. Because Birdman introduced me to them people. I guess they were supposed to be his friends. And then come to find out, they all related to my fucking mother. And right after, when Birdman passed away, I didn't go back into that area no more. When I take the bus, I don't even stop in certain areas of that fucking place. I don't want to see none of them fucking people. All right, you guys, we out of here. Hope y'all have an awesome night. I don't want to talk too much because, you know, I'm already mad. I was in a good mood. Then I went to madness. Then I laughed a little bit. Now I'm in a better mood. So I will bid all of you good night. I will see you perhaps in the next video or perhaps in someone else's chat. Just Jay, I don't know when you're going to go live again, but shout out to you. So it is what it is. All right, we have you guys. Peace. Yo, shout out to everyone that came in that moderated for me. Shout out to those that's listening from the bushes. Because Arabia Barbosa, the BT 1000 has not changed. Just because I don't be saying shit, that don't mean I'm in here asleep or I'm dead somewhere. I just be in my own fucking thoughts, my own fucking world. Period. So that's it. I'm out. Y'all have a good one. Thank you for coming over. Moderators, bless up. Everyone that's listening, bless up. Shout out to y'all. Peace.